Okay, now I think we're officially live because that one didn't work for some reason. The scheduling didn't quite work out the way I thought it would. So I don't think anyone actually even saw the last one, but yeah, because the little live button was the little viewer button wasn't on there. So sorry about that. A little confusion. So you might be wondering why we're starting a little late, but we are here. We are live. Algorand, Algo, let's go. We're gonna get into it today with. I just realized last time that we did not actually look at the Algorand charts itself, and I think that'd be a really good thing to include. So we're gonna start there, talk about the latest ASA news charts. We're gonna look for that. We're gonna look through some of the Algorand news, some news snippets from this week, just to show you some interesting stuff there. And we're gonna answer your questions too. So make sure you leave your questions in the chat box. If you want to leave a super chat, that's much appreciated. You'll definitely get priority, but I can't imagine we won't have time to answer everybody's questions today. So go ahead, leave your questions in the comments. We're going to answer questions that people ask me throughout the week too. So I think that's helpful for everybody to see. And also, if you can hit that like button, really appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, hey, why not subscribe today? You can see all our cool Algorand and other crypto content. I focus, as you know, so if you're a longtime viewer, you know that I focus on Algorand mostly because it's easy to use, fees are low, it's very cost effective, and a lot of the projects just kind of work. Now, I've had some issues lately. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. But for the most part, I mean, compared to other blockchains, and this is something I talked about with Clifford from Alchemon too. Like the stuff just works. Like he had kind of the same experience I did, where he tried doing some other stuff like on Ethereum, and you end up paying like crazy gas fees. You don't pay those gas fees in Algorand, so that's why I like it. Anyway, yeah, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe button, and we are going to get into the charts. I will share that right now. Okay. So I had this pulled up before and I had to re-pull it up. But as you can see, like Bitcoin is down. Bitcoin and Ethereum are down. Bitcoin's below 40,000. Ethereum's down 3,000. So that kind of sets the tone for the market. And we're going to scroll all the way down to Algorand, which is at number 29 by market cap. Pretty good because I think it actually fell out of the top 30 not too long ago. Up 0.26% on the day, down 1.94% on the week. Not the greatest price action in the world, but everything else is kind of doing that too, so we can't be too upset by that. Yeah, down a little bit on the 7 days, I recall. Same on the 1 month, and you see like kind of a double hump here. So we had really good price action for the first half of the month, and then it just kind of went down. Let's go back all the way out to a year, and we kind of get like a weird peak, in the middle of a year's time period. And we remember this. We remember when Algorand hit see if I can get it there. Yeah, actually almost close to 240. But if you look at where we are from a year ago, we're not down that much. Still down from a year ago, though. So is every other crypto is, though, too. So something to keep in mind. Not great. Of course, we would love it to be more than that, but it is what it is. And I think probably now this is not financial advice, as I like to say, but I think it's probably a good time to buy. I'll definitely be buying some more Algo in the future. So something to keep in mind. But enough about that. Why don't we head over to the ASA charts? We can go to tinychart.org. So I just sorry, there's a little bit of transition time when I share the screens. We can take a look at, meant to go to the regular one. So now TinyChart, different from CoinMarket, they're defaulted on liquidity, which is kind of an interesting metric. And in dollars, yeah, Cosmic Gold sitting at the top of that liquidity market. Now, as you know, that just launched on Yieldy yesterday, so a pretty big deal. It's very popular by views, as you can see. It's actually at the top of their popularity chart as well. And it's on the top gainers chart. It's doing pretty well, up 17.45% in the last 24 hours. That's cool. But it has surpassed Algo Gems and Yieldy in terms of liquidity, as well as GoMint. Now, Algo Gems was at the top for a very long time. I don't think it's going to stay here. Right now there's a lot of hype and a lot of interest in it, so it's going to stay up. But interesting that it was able to surpass Algo gems and Yieldy. And if we go by market cap, now we got a different story, of course. Asian reserve currency at the top as Xfinity. Following that, Opulus is always at the top, Planet, Yieldy. But if you look down, no, here it is. Yeah, Cosmic Gold still in the top 10 by market cap as well. I think you're going to see that climb up. I don't think it's going to hit number 1 or 2, but I think it's probably going to be sitting around this range. I don't know if you're seeing my mouse or not, between Planet and Yieldy. So keep an eye out for that. I think that's a pretty big deal. Nice to see that. Let's go back to the liquidity charts. Just so we can go some of the popular. Yeah, so Algo gems down a little bit on the 24-hour. I wish they put the 7 days here too. Yieldy down today quite a bit. And as you know, and we got a question about that, about Yieldy and the price and why it's been going down. I'm going to talk about that a little later in the questions, but we'll get into that. Government up a little bit today. Planet down. Actually, maybe I can change it. If I click on this, that's just changing up and down. Let's go back to liquidity. Here we go. But you can see from the 7-day chart that they show. I mean, you can see, so Government is up today, and it's been up on the day, or up on the week too. Planet down 12%, and it's down on the 7-day chart as well. Zone been kind of all over the place, up a little bit today. Have you guys played Zone? Are you playing around in that? I can't log in. I've learned that I can pair my Algo wallet with the Para wallet, which is pretty cool. Glad I learned that. But so now I can log in, but then it's still like it just spins. It never logs in. I don't get it. Algo stake down a little bit today, and that's been up and down in the week. I've been using Algo stake more. I kind of like it. I had some thoughts about whether, or kind of mixed feelings, I should say, about whether the fact that it didn't use smart contracts was a good or bad thing. Normally, I'd say bad, except the money stays in your wallet, so kind of hard to hand on that. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that, by the way. DeFi token down, chips down, Loudify down. That's a really unusual looking chart, but I think once you get into these low caps, that's probably the reason there. So that is the charts, and let's see. I tell everyone, Algo about you, bro. Great content, says 1FT. Hey, I appreciate that, man. That's really nice. Thanks a lot. Virtual reality for me says good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you too. And yeah, make sure any questions you guys have, feel free to leave them in the comments. Much appreciated. We will answer them today. So whatever you want to answer, let me know. Let's see what we got next on our agenda. Well, we got some news items, and a big one, and I did a story on this week. Cosmic Champs launched on Yieldy. So as you probably know, Yieldy has had a lot of liquidity pools and distribution pools, and they've been slowly ending, but now they're almost all gone. So they needed some, but this is part of their new program because they needed some injection. They needed something for people to get excited about. Well, I got to charge those lights on that BC, huh? Anyway, yeah, they needed something to get excited about, and they're launching Cosmic on their platforms as part of a new launching program that they're initiating. So this is kind of the first step of that. I think it's a pretty big deal. I am very bullish on Cosmic Champs. I do want to bring up something that I think I kind of got wrong. I got it wrong. I got it wrong on my Cosmic Champs video. I said that they didn't have any details about the gameplay footage. They do, but they're buried in their white paper. So it is like basically a tower defense game, and it will also be like card based. So your characters will be based on the cards that you collect. And so I actually think it sounds like kind of a fun game. But so the people from Cosmic Champs, they actually were very supportive. They retweeted my video, which was kind of cool. But they also pointed out, hey, we do have some details, and here they are. Now, I will say that I think if you're going to have gameplay details, you ought to have them on your website. Not in the same detail as the white paper, but you got to at least tell people what it is, I think. So, but I'll take the L on that one. I should have gotten that right. I should have looked a little deeper, and it's kind of a reason. The reason is kind of shifted gears at the last minute because I found out that Yieldy had launched Cosmic Champs, and I was going to do a different video. So I switched gears kind of fast, but probably should have spent a little more time and looked into that. So, hey, mea culpa. My apologies to everyone. But overall, I still stand by the video. I'm very bullish on the game. I think it's going to be fun. I hope it sounds good, and we'll get into more of the comments later on. Let's look at some other news items. That's a big news item. I think that's cool. I'm glad it's on there. Oh yeah, this is one that's kind of making the. Let's see, it's on this one. Okay, let me just share this one. I've got some additional thoughts to add to this, but Algorand has just launched its first smart contract to offset carbon emissions, and they've got some details. So the network's new self-sustaining smart contract will automatically assign a percentage of every transaction fee to offset carbon emissions. This is pretty cool. Now, this is one of the selling points of Algorand. As you know, Bitcoin takes a lot of flack for its electricity usage. Now, there's a lot of caveats to that. That people don't really share. The fact they always compare it to the country of Sweden. I don't think that's fair to take an entire industry and compare it to a country. That doesn't make any sense, because most industries would use more electricity than Sweden. The airline industries would use 20 times, something like that. It's really high. If you look at Bitcoin on a chart of other industries, it's pretty low comparatively. Now, that being said, and a very high percentage of Bitcoin, because it's new infrastructure, a lot of it uses renewables. I've heard as high as 70%, haven't confirmed that. I know at one point it was 30%. I believe it's gotten a lot higher. And the reason for that is it's actually cheaper right now to build renewable, especially like solar panel types. It's actually cheaper to build that than it is to, say, build coal plants or build other types of infrastructure. And that's a change from maybe 10 years ago. And so the cost of these solar panels has gone way down. So more people are using them. And if you're a miner, you want the cheapest electricity, including to build. So you're going to build the cheapest stuff. So that's great. But comparatively, Algorand, now I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Mooch, or if you've heard Mooch FM, his podcast. I think it was kind of interesting. Now, Anthony Scaramucci, he was famously in the Trump White House for about 11 days. He didn't last very long, but since then, he's all in on crypto. Very interesting guy. You may or may not agree with him politically. I think it's kind of hard to pin him down politically. You might think he's like a super pro-Trumper, but he actually kind of became an anti-Trumper later on. But interesting. So he's like all in on Algorand, which is kind of cool, and his firm is too. And he had the engineer from one of the main engineers from Algorand on his channel, and from what he said, Algorand uses 10 houses worth of electricity per year, the whole network. Now, I don't know. I don't think that includes like ULD or whatever, any other projects. I can't imagine they would basically use what another website would use, but 10 households, like that's minor. Now they've announced that they're going to implement their smart contract to automate offsetting of carbon emissions, which is how they're going to be negative zero. So this is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool news item. You probably saw this image around town, which probably used a lot of electricity, but we won't go there. I think this is a cool news story. I'm glad to see this, and this is a great thing when if you're talking with everyday folk about crypto, and they're like, "Oh, it doesn't use a bunch of electricity." You say, "Well, my favorite blockchain, if it is, or one of my favorite blockchains, as the case may be, is Algorand, and Algorand is actually carbon negative, in fact, or is about to be." So I think that's a cool thing. Yep. Hey, by the way, guys, don't forget to leave your comments or your questions below. We're going to answer those today. We're getting to those. I got one more news item for you. What else do we got? Oh, this is an interesting one. I have some things to say about it. It says, Algorand has lofty goals, but don't expect a swift recovery. Let's stop and take a little drink. See, normally I edit out that stuff in the video, but can't do that now. So he says Algorand has a lot going for it, although not as well known as Ethereum or major Ethereum killers like Cardano. Its founder, Silvio Macaulay, has lofty goals about making this platform a major force in making decentralized finance mainstream. Sure, legit. Yep. Furthermore, it's putting in place upgrades that will further burnish its functionality. This points to a future, possibly a move to higher coin prices in the long term. That said, I wouldn't count on its native coins, still down big from where it was last fall, bouncing back in the short term. And it just kind of goes on to say, well, the crypto market is still trying to thaw out of its so-called winter, big drop in cryptocurrency prices overall. So, yeah, it's interesting. Someone said recently, oh, hi, puppy dog. Algo dog is saying hi. I don't know if we won't be able to see her on the camera, even if I switch it, but okay, Abby, get down, girl. There you go. I might have to, sorry, I'll have to put it in her pen. Just give me a second. Abby, come on. Go ahead. Come on. Here you go. Just till I finish. Almost done. Yeah, sorry about that. So he's talking about how, enthusiasm for crypto has ways to go before it sees levels, for his near levels seen as recently as 6 months ago. Yeah, and that's not a surprise. So I don't know if you guys follow like the regular market in crypto besides just Algorand, but everything's kind of down. We were supposed to, the experts were saying, and according to the patterns that Bitcoin has always followed, it was supposed to hit like 80, 90, 100,000 this cycle, and it should have done that last fall. And so eventually people just kind of lost hope that was going to happen. Now there's speculation as to why. Some people say manipulation in the market. We've seen like these Wyckoff patterns that are usually signals of manipulation. Whether that's accurate or not, I don't really know. We definitely see some patterns that indicate that might be possible, but whatever happened, it didn't quite follow that cycle. And we should by now have been in a bear market anyway, I think. I think this is when the bear would have hit. And it will remain most likely until the next halvening, which I believe is 2024. And 2020 was the last halvening, if I'm correct about that. I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that. And then you'll see prices rise again. So my thoughts on this, I'm going to switch back to my regular screen. My thoughts on this is that it's probably likely. It's going to take a while. And I always think that you should focus on the long term when it comes to anything like Algorand, anything in the blockchain. And long term in blockchain is a lot different than long terms in stocks, especially like index funds. Those you just kind of want to hold and keep and let them grow and grow and grow over the years. But Algorand is going to be shorter, but yeah, you're still probably going to have to wait a few years before you see some real price improvement. But to me, Algorand, the more important thing about Algorand is that it just grows. It's just useful because the ecosystem is growing. So I think that's more part in Marchek, in my opinion, that there's just so many things to do in it. I think that's the fun part of it. And there's so many yield opportunities that, I had called Algorand kind of price stable, and someone challenged me on that. They said, well, from 70 cents to 240, is that stable? I'm like, well, I'm also playing the game Townstar, and the coin around it, Town Coin, went from like 68 cents down to 8 cents. So I don't know. It seems that I would call Algorand a little more stable. You don't have these giant, we're not talking like $1,000 price swings like with Bitcoin or something. So that makes it a little easier because you don't have to worry about, well, this game costs like 20 algo to get in. Now that same 20 algo is fluctuating from $400 to $10. Like that'd be a pretty big fluctuation when you're talking in a matter of cents in real dollars. That's a lot easier to stomach. So that's just my thoughts on that. Why I would say it's price stable. Okay, well, let's get into some questions. What do you guys think about that? Hey, remember answering questions today, so feel free to leave a question in the chat. I will answer it today. Comments too, whatever you want to say. All good on my end. Let's see here. Here. I really can't talk and do things at the same time. I'm just not good at that. Let's see. Going down my list of questions. Hey, remember to leave them. Oh, what the hell is happening? Yieldy is down 20% in a week. Why is it crashing? This is from AlkCubit. He asked this question earlier. And yeah, I think there's a couple reasons why Yieldy has crashed. One, like I said earlier, all those projects are starting to wrap up. All those distribution pools and the liquidity pools, like they're all wrapping up. So, well, when you get out of it, you probably end up selling a lot of yieldy. I mean, you might transfer it to other projects, but you're definitely going to get a segment of the population who's just going to sell. So, if you have a lot of selling pressure, it's going to bring the price down. Also, there's been concerns about them lately with stuff like well, the whole price difference between what's on their webpage versus what's on, say, Tiny Chart or everywhere else. And as you recall, the reason is because they're on the Yieldy website is the ERC token price and not the ASA price. I think that's misleading. I've reached out to Yieldy about that. They didn't answer me. Other people have said the same thing. They just don't want to communicate about that. And I think at the very least, and this would be a really easy website fix, just put a little text in there that says, "Hey, this is the ERC20 price, not the ASA price." I personally think it should have the ASA price, but that's just my opinion. And they had a kind of a mass exodus of people too. That's a big deal. Let's see. Yeah, someone said, okay, that's the same thing. Oh yeah, someone. So this isn't a question, but someone said, "Hey, you can't keep bringing up Algorand for every project." Well, dude, it's like I've only talked about 2 projects since then. But yeah, I think we have to keep Algorand in mind. That was a big deal. People lost a lot of money, and it's going to impact people's decisions going forward. So I think you got to address it. You absolutely have to address it. I don't agree with that at all. Yeah, someone also mentioned that the tiny charts prices are off a little bit versus the dexes. Now, I haven't had a chance to really look into that, but it doesn't seem to be by the same amount as the Yieldy ERC20 ASA price. Just trying to look through the rest of my. Yeah, I guess Island Tourist asked, "Well, is there any incentive to waiting until the end of this Yieldy pool?" And he talked about maybe switching to Avalanche, which like I said, I'm not a maximal Algorand maximalist by any means. I'm all about other blockchains. I think I own a little bit of Avalanche. I also own what's it called? Kind of just trying to blank on it. Wow, that was a total brain fart. I just can't think of what. That's gonna drive me nuts. I gotta look this up. You guys ever just have that where something that's like always on the tip of your tongue just disappears? I'm gonna look for it. Actually, I have to go look at the charts. Oh, Solana, yeah. Yeah, I have a pretty good. I'm starting to develop a lot of Solana. So I have other blockchains, you know, but that seemed like maybe an extreme reaction to. There's a lot of other projects besides Yieldy. I mean, that's just my opinion, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. Let's see. Yeah, by the way, I don't know, did you watch the crypto talk that I did with the founder of Alchemon? I thought that was really interesting. I had a lot of fun talking to him. He seemed like a cool guy. People really seem to like that. Yeah, by the way, I was gonna bring up Algorand stats because last time the it wouldn't work on my when I pulled it up, and so I wanted to give some updates on the governance, and it's still not working. It just spins like that. None of the stuff loads. That seems strange to have that happen for a whole week, right? So a little strange there, huh? But is what it is, I guess. I don't think I have anything more. I'm starting to get these spam comments about like this one is like about young girls. I'm like, yeah, great. And then another one that's like, I don't even know what this is. Something about an angel. I can't believe. I don't even know what that's about. You just get some weird comments sometimes. Oddly enough, they're in Span most of them are in Spanish. I'm getting, like, Spanish spam. I don't really know why. I haven't spoken Spanish on the channel. I do speak a little Spanish, and as well as Japanese. I speak a lot of Japanese. But but yeah, it's like, well, actually, when I went to Miami, a bunch of people spoke Spanish to me, and I don't know how they knew I spoke Spanish, or they were just they didn't speak it to, like, my sister or my niece. Yeah, mhm. I don't know, did I talk about this comment? Like, this woman just said that she says, "I'm a little old senior citizen here, trying not to let technology pass me by, and I turn to your videos first. You have a way of explaining a complete concept using simple terminology." Like, that just made my day, man. Yeah, I don't, because I've looked at my demographics, and they generally are younger men. So it's nice to have an older woman that watches the channel. And thanks for you. Oh, we got some more comments. Say thanks. Caitlin Guzman says Alcamon is going on to Yuli. Oh, that'll be awesome. Yeah, I had a really fun time talking with him. He's a cool guy, the founder of Alcamon. So yeah, if you guys haven't watched that video, you should go check it out. It's a good one. Oh, Algorand's Chase Campbell says Algorand Stats is on vacation until the 26th. Huh. Okay. Well, yeah, hey, yeah, everyone deserves a vacation. Understandable. It's kind of bummer that it stopped working while he was on vacation, but it happens. Oh, Flow Sharp says go Algorand. Cool. Yeah, Diamond and Grow. Cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Algorand too. Like I said, it's just been the one that works the best for me. I know, like I said, I own Bitcoin, I own Ethereum, but I try not to do projects in Ethereum because it doesn't work. Oh, you're 53. Okay, cool. Well, I'm just saying, like, they show you the demographics on YouTube, and it's mostly younger men, according, not younger too. It's like 24 to 35 and 36 to 44 or something like that. So I'm like in the upper age range of my own audience, which is kind of cool. But I guess I do, but maybe I haven't looked in a while. Maybe it's obviously grown since then, so that's cool. But hey, everyone's welcome on the channel. I don't care how old you are or what gender. We're all welcome to talk about Algorand here. All right, well, I'm going to be closing up pretty soon. Any questions? You can leave them. Probably a couple more minutes. We're going to go, and then I'm going to go eat some supper and feed my puppy dog. Feed Algo dog. She's got to eat. She's a little mad that I had to put her in her pen, but she's very big. It's not like the cat where I can just kind of shoo her away. She's a pretty big puppy dog. She's a golden retriever. I'm gonna look for some fabric that has the Algorand logo on. See if my mom's been making her these bandanas that kind of like fit around her collar. So I'd like to get an Algorand one for her. So. All right. Well, it looks like we're all out of questions, and that's the show for today. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Be sure to leave your feedback. Always curious to hear what you have to say. And as always, stay safe out there, do your own research, and we will see you in the future.